G'day mate and welcome back to Capital Industry with me, JD. In our last episode we got another hydrogen reactor up and running, which means I started converting more of the workforce across to hydrogen. More drugs, more trains, more diggy boys, and of course more boats need to be swapped across to hydrogen. In today's episode I need to sort out a few more problems. One is going to be with nuclear fusion, because again I have far too much of it. On top of that I need to sort out an iron problem before we sort out our copper problem, because we have no copper, which means we have no electronics, and it means I have no electronics too, which means life is definitely not going the right way. But today I hope to fix all that. So what I want to do is I want to ask, can I borrow a like? I just like to borrow a like. I like to borrow a like on the video. I've been told the more likes I get to borrow, no, in fact, the more likes I get to keep, the sooner we're going to be fixing our copper problems. First thing I need to do is I need to talk about our small uranium fission problem. I have far too many fission products. This one is no longer full, and I forgot to change the alert on it, and that means I get to flip this belt. It also means I need to turn off this alert because I don't care whether it's full anymore. So we're going to have new fission products going to come down this belt. They're going to, some of them are going to go in here. Some will end up getting stuck on this belt, but this is split 50-50. That's perfectly fine. The belt only stores one or two. They're going to come past here. They're going to bypass this because this little belt's flipped, and they're going to go into this storage. It also means that I've finally processed all the spent MOX we had. So you get to go away. I don't need this belt anymore. I don't need this belt anymore. I don't need this bucket anymore. I also don't need this lift and this lift anymore. I don't need the blue pipe coming out of here anymore, and I can actually make you go away with uni, and I can now put a red pipe on there. Also means that this machine, I can actually turn off the MOX processing because we have no more MOX, and I can finally unpause this pipe. I didn't unpause this pipe because we started to back up in spent fuel, because I only had two machines running. Two machines running can process 16 apiece, being 32, and I happen to have this reactor running that's potentially producing 8, this reactor running which is potentially producing 16, this reactor running which is potentially producing at least 4, 4, and this reactor running that was, well, at one stage it was producing 16. So I have had a small situation with the spent fuel backing up a little bit. I'm going to upgrade the pipe so there's more room in the pipe, and you should start processing all of that into more core fuel. Of course, all the fission products are going to go through the different storages, stack up for however long, and eventually they do decompose back into retired waste, which then gets turned to recyclables. So that's the first thing I need to talk about. And matter of interest, no, this is not full, so it hasn't had anything back up on the belt yet. But yeah, like I said, the belt's so short, it only stores, well, a maximum of 2 items on it. And considering we're not moving that much radioactive material across the map anymore, I'm not too worried about it. So that's the first thing I need to do. Second thing I need to do is I need to talk about our vehicles. So and pipes. We did run pipes all the way out to here in the last episode and made sure we had hydrogen at this location. And I do believe that all these vehicles now swapped across to hydrogen, and we've started moving across diggy boys as well, which does mean I want to put a single vehicle in here. Can I have you assigned to this one? And I'm going to preemptively assign you to this one as well. And you are going to be in charge of refueling those diggy boys as they get swapped across. We do have had to have dug the coal a little bit deeper, and I need to grab this little bit of coal as well. I have also at the same time run the pipes out. So I've actually run the pipes out to over here where we have our bauxite. Also, I've run them down to these little 2 fuel stations here, and I actually run the pipe look at the pipe, please, all the way around the very, very edge of the map, all the way around the water to this location here, so I can have hydrogen out here for rock pickup eventually, and I can also swap this mine across to, the uranium mine across to hydrogen in the not too distant future. Technically I could do the diggy boy team, but the diggy boy team is, well, keeping themselves preoccupied clearing this mountain, and then filling in around here, because I'm going to need this limestone eventually. I don't know when eventually is, but I'm going to want it eventually, so we might as well make sure we have access to it. All right, next thing I need to talk about is, well, vehicles. Can I go to you? So I'm currently, as said, upgrading vehicles one at a time. We've done 1 out of 5 for the current coal mine number 2. I do have access to 5 extra vehicles. My problem is currently all the vehicles are, well, mainly dumping material right here because I want to make sure I have enough room for another reactor before I needed the reactor this time. That'd be definitely preferable. But consequently, all the vehicles are very, very busy. So what I want to do is I want to get 5 more hydrogen vehicles up and running, and then hopefully I get to find them and I'll manually assign them to one of the ports that were already swapped across to hydrogen. On top of that, I also want to do upgrades. I want to change all diggy boys from bauxite to hydrogen versions. So can I do that one? We're going to type in a limit of 3, of course. I also would like to do their trucks to hydrogen trucks from bauxite. Bauxite only has 4. The 5 I'm about to build, I'm going to be sending over there. This will finish this upgrade, do these 5, and then go back to upgrading, converting. So it should let me have 5 over on the bauxite mine, and also at the same time free up the 4 diesel trucks I have over there, and have them continue driving across the map, doing other map-related things like moving around rock and dirt, all the places that need to be moved. Next thing I want to talk about is the titanium. I don't need that much titanium, and this had a crew that's sitting around doing nothing, so I've told them to please remove all of the rock that's in the way, which they could probably dump in the sea. As long as they're dumping it in the sea, like mainly in this area, it means that, well, eventually this area gets filled in a little bit faster, and at least keeps them working for the diesel that I'm paying them. I haven't swapped these across to hydrogen yet. Why haven't I swapped to hydrogen yet? No good reason why I haven't swapped to hydrogen yet. Can I get a hydrogen fuel station, please? That one. Can I put you here? Can I grab a fluid? Can I get a tier 2 pipe? Can I go from there to there? Can we get this done as well? And can I go into upgrades? Can I do let's do the diggy boys first, across the hydrogen diggy boys from titanium. There's 6 of them. Can I do all 6? And then can I do trucks to trucks, and again titanium? Can I do all 9, please? Okay. Can I get those guys done as well? Because, well, they could be on hydrogen. We already have the hydrogen infrastructure right here, so there's nothing stopping me. All right, so that's the first thing I need to do. Second thing I need to do is I have been able to turn back on plenty of food at number 1, as long as we can keep up with animal feed. Animal feed's sort of touch and go at the moment, so as long as this stays positive, we're okay. It does mean have a little bit of uni. I have been able to turn research efficiency back up to 45%, which is getting through our research even faster. Research-wise, we have now finished settlement water usage number 2, which has brought the Great Wastenator down to 600, which means I have a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to expanding out of town. Also, something I should mention, because I'm using the Wastenator blueprint, it relies on processing waste to make sludge, to make fuel gas, to be able to burn the fuel gas, to burn off all the trash. So the catch is, the more upgrades I do, the less efficient it becomes, because I produce less fuel gas. Also, I produce the same amount of trash, but I produce less fuel gas, and technically this whole system becomes less water positive, which is a little bit of an issue. Tiny bit of an issue, just a minor issue, so it's something I need to keep an eye on, and I don't actually want to do this research too many times. I'd really like to get rid of these guys instead, and put another, well, half Wastenator or whatever I need. Have been able to do crop yield number 2, just so we get a few more extra crops. That's probably what's keeping us just ahead of our plenty of food number 2. Like I said, settlement water usage number 1. I have done the space probe already, and I also finished off the recycling edicts. Recycling edicts, if I come over to recycling, we're currently at 35%. I can get up to 40%, but it's going to cost me 2 uni. It's just not worth my time and effort at the moment. Same with the last 15% here is also 2 uni. I'm avoiding those for right at the moment, just because I can't afford them. I'd like to be able to afford them, but that's going to have to wait a little while. We're currently going, doing a little bit more crop yield, also some maintenance output. Then I'm probably going to go and do another rocket capacity at 69,000 nices, or vehicle limit. Probably this, then that, because I do have, as I said, the space station up in orbit, and it's costing me rocket launches to maintain the crew supplies, the station parts, but I don't really do anything with the space science just at the moment. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing I need to do is we need to do something about copper, but before I do something about copper, I actually want to do something about steel, because at the moment we are consuming 15 coal for every 48 molten iron. 48 molten iron turns into 24 steel, and I could swap that across to, well, an arc furnace. If I was running an arc furnace with that recipe, I would be consuming 3 graphite instead. 3 graphite, when we convert our coal into graphite, is not a lot of coal. If I come over to these chem plants, which are the ones converting our coal into graphite, we can see it uses 8 coal plus 24 chlorine, which is a decent amount of chlorine, to make 24 graphite. Of course, chlorine, I have down here, we have a number of these electrolyzers producing a whole lot of chlorine. On top of that, I can expand this system if required. So I think it would be well advised that we swap across all these smelters to arc furnace so I can start saving on a lot of coal. I have mined out a lot of coal on the map, so this is going to be our first plan. Our first plan is going to require this belt be built, so we're going to enable that. On top of that, I need to, upgrade each of these machines, so we're just going to grab an upgrade planner and drag them right across the list. I'm going to turn off this, and I'm going to set you to be an Arc Furnace Mark II, say replace, and then I want to start ripping things up. So I don't need coal anymore. I also need to move the limestone. Technically, I don't need to move the limestone a lot. Technically, I can just make the belt go wiggle more often than not, but I like to demolish and rebuild. It's just the way I like doing things, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be removing each one of these. No, I wanted to keep that one, please. Can I remove this one, this one? Can I remove that one, that one, that one? Can I remove that one, and that one, and that one? Oh, actually, I need to remove you as well. Cool. Can I come back to this one? I need to remove this, and this, and I need to remove that. Okay. With that done, what I need to do is I need to grab two things. I need to grab a loose lift that's going to come up to the limestone belt and then have a T1 belt that goes from there to there. Can I copy that? Can I put you here as well? Here as well. Can I grab a tier 2 belt that goes from there to there? Can I put this one here? And that's definitely not right. Can I go back to that? Oh, it's one tile further. Cool. Can I grab you? Can I put you here? Then can I grab you? Put you here with a very short belt. And can I copy this? Can I put this here? And here? And here? And this one needs to go here with a Mark II belt from here to here. Can I put this here? And here? And here? Well, next thing I need to do is I need to put in the graphite. So the graphite goes here with a tiny bit of flat belt right in front of it. And then I want to put this on, delete please, on the outside of each one of these, so we get graphite into each one of them. Can I put you there, here, 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 and you're going to be here, it turns out, on this side. Can I plug you into there? Somebody is going to be along to upgrade you shortly. Cool. Can I plug that into there? Can I plug that into there? Can I plug you into there? Can I plug you into there? Okay. Next thing I'm going to need is that all of them? That is all of them. Next thing I'm going to need is my water pipe. My water pipe needs to be at height number 2, right through the back of all the machines, all the way through to, this point right here. I want to plug in my water, so can I copy this? Can I put this over here? Can I remove this? Can I remove this? And can I copy that, have it come up and plug back into there, so I can cut that. And we're going to dump this in here, plus here, plus here, 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 and you just need to plug the water straight into there. Okay, can I remove that? And can I remove that? Can I have you go from here to here? And from here to here. Okay, last thing I need to do is I need to do steam output. Steam output is at the front, height number 1, and it needs to be 1 tile away from the machines. So can I bring this pipe through here, all the way through to here, onto here, and then I'm just going to plug it into there. I don't care how you get there. And lastly, I need a tier 1 pipe to go uppies, and uppies, and uppies, with more uppies, some up, some uppies, more uppies. I should probably unpaused everything so they can start building this already, because they'll probably be done by the time, or half done by the time I'm finished putting in these pipes. But with this done, this should convert this whole area across to arc furnaces. Okay, can I have them build all that? On top of that, can I enable some recipes? I'm going to need you to do 2 recipes. That's going to be this recipe and this recipe. Technically, I should go through and hit delete on every single one of these to get the crap that they have in them out. It's going to cost me a tiny bit of uni. Actually, I should set the recipes first. That way, if they have recyclables in them, they can at least use them. You. Oh no, you had junk. Okay, you have junk. Yeah, I don't know if the trucks actually pick up the junk or it just sits in there forever. This, like the 2 bits of coal. But I'm going to speed up this process by throwing a little bit of uni at it. I do need to still plug in the water, and to plug in the water, I want to adjust this little pipe here. Can I have that removed? And can I have you go across, then up? Can I remove this bit? Can I build that bit? Can I have this plugged into here instead? And then from there, can I go to this tile? And then can I come up and go over the top like that? It's a little bit mutant, but that's sort of how everything is at the moment, just because, well, it's been an organic build, yes. But that should bring in all the materials except for water. Water should be along any second, and each one of these should fire up. It also means that now I'm producing a whole lot less exhaust. These were producing, if we go look at a blast furnace Mark II doing iron, they were doing 36 exhaust each. We've cut them down to 6 exhaust, which is way less, which is a very, very good thing for the colony. But it also means, the other thing it means is our exhaust scrubbing over here and now has to process a little bit less exhaust. It's going to be 30 exhaust multiplied by 30 smelters. There happen to be 30 of them, so it's going to be 400 less exhaust overall, which also means they're going to be outputting less CO2. Less CO2, or in turn, means technically less free graphite. So I am going to have to burn more coal over here to make graphite, but that's probably okay because, well, it's still going to be much cheaper than burning the coal. And the other reason I upgraded these guys is if I, well, grab a iron. I want a furnace. That one. If I have a look at one of these guys costs 18 workers and, well, also 3.9 maintenance Mark 1. These cost 14 workers, also 5.2 maintenance 2, which is again more electronics. Electronics 3 to be more exact, and also technically 4 megawatts. This is, no, 6 megawatts. 6 megawatts. This is running on recyclables at the moment, so it's running on a cheaper recipe, or cheaper power recipe. So generally they're going to use 6 megawatts, which is more power, but power is now sorted. But it means if I save, well, 2 workers off each, no, 4 workers off each machine, it is 13 machines multiplied by 4 workers. It's 52 workers saved, which is very, very good because all those workers are going to go across to copper. But before I do copper, I want to do one more thing, and that is trains. Right here, I have 2 problems. I have problems getting trains in fast enough. I also have problems getting trains out fast enough. Every single one of these corners we put in very, very early on, where I didn't have a lot of space, were, well, tight corners. That means the trains are limited to a speed of 40, no faster, until their tail actually gets around this bend. So as you can see, we're not putting in much throttle right here because the train just doesn't need to because it's capped at the max speed. Even though the locomotives are now in a very straight area, you'd think they'd accelerate, but the tail needs to leave this section, and that's when we can suddenly start flooring it and we can start speeding up. So what I want to do is I want to propose a new track. The new track we're going to lock to 22 radius turn. And I want to bring that through to here and then change it over to green. And that's where you want to connect. That's where you want to connect. How about here instead? Okay, that would do for me. And that's pretty much the same thing, just slightly shorter. I think I prefer the look of that. It's just a look feature, nothing else. And I want to get that done. All right, when that's done, what I want to do is I want to kick this train out because its front end is actually on this piece of track, which is a problem because I want to remove that piece of track. So I want to kick you out. As soon as you leave, I want to remove that bit of track. So your friend behind you can't come in and use the same piece of track. I then want to grab this one and I want to lock you to that radius. Can I get you built? You built and you built. And then can I kick you out of coal loading? Come on. And because we have all these red sections, they're going to be very slow to leave. and then can I do that as well? All right. Next thing I want to do is get the coal out of my way, followed by the limestone, because I want to do the same right here. Can I have this go from here to here? Can I have that section be built? And up. Have you parked on the wrong track? I don't know. You've parked on the wrong track. I can't even recover you. There's no operational train depot that accept this train because you can't get to our train depot. You don't have a way of pathing to there. Also, technically, I might have too many trains in the service lane, which is probably not helping things. So, I need to now reconnect this to here, rebuild that little section. Cool. Can I have this? I'm going to attempt it with this one instead. Can I have you be built? And can I kick you out, please? And okay, you've left. Can I? No. Yeah, can I delete that piece? I hope. Yeah. Can you leave? Go, please. Can I remove that? Oh no, I can't remove that one. Cancel. Leave. 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 Go. Go. Wait for free track. There you go, finally. Oh, okay, that definitely broke the track I wanted. Can I plug that back into there? Oh, can I resume that? And can I delete? No. I need to click on that one. Yeah, I just need to have it disconnected. As long as it's disconnected, that's a win for me. Okay, can I remove this iron line and this iron line so I can do the same with the next train? Please and thank you. Can I grab here to here? Can I get that built? Sorry. I keep pressing U on the keyboard, but U on the keyboard when it comes to train tracks just does that one piece, not the whole segment. Really annoying. I want to remove this one. Okay. Can you get far enough out? Yep, that's disconnected. And then can I come from here to here? That's our last train. Build that. And can you please leave? Come on. Thank you. So now I can remove this. I can remove this. I can remove this straight bit of track. I can remove this straight bit of track. I can ignore this one and this one. These two stations are basically decommissioned at this point, and also means I can. Oh, I didn't have that bit done. Also means I get out my track tools and I can remove all of these because I don't want the train stopping and politely waiting for the end of the previous train to get over these little do not stop sections. I want all the trains to, well, do their best to run up the bum of the train in front of them and give me maximum throughput. Now, if I have a train leave anytime now, guys, anytime now, it's probably not going to happen because I keep them all out. Oh, actually, can I reconnect this? Because that's probably important. Yeah, that goes to there, please. There, please. Can I also reconnect that one? Cool, that's the train leaving. Can I connect this into... Can I connect that way then? No. Okay. Can I connect you back to tiles? Yep. Delete. Okay. So this train is now accelerating up to 60 because we still have yellow curves, which means they can't go over 60. But then we're already doing 60 at this point, and then as soon as the tail gets through here, bang, we accelerate further, and we're up to, well, 90 awfully quickly, which means more throughput. Faster trains equals more throughput. That's what I always want. So can I plug that back in and... okay, can you go to there, please, and there. I don't care how messy this looks, because we're going to start rebuilding bits piece by piece. Okay, so that's that. Low supply of limestone, which was probably because I disconnected the belts, but I've tidied this up a little bit. I'm actually curious now. If I go from here to the green turn is much larger. It does mean we can start accelerating sooner. That's yellow. I could do that. I could do that. That removes those last two little bit of yellows. Yeah, can I do that? And can I remove that? Okay, so that means from this point on, yep, and then as soon as the tail gets over here, we can fully accelerate out of here. So that means you should be hitting 90 probably before you get to this corner. 85, 84, 87, 90. Yeah, so by the time we get around this corner, we're already doing 90, which is great. That means the train's getting out faster. I still have a choke point right here where I'm having a problem getting trains in, but I'm going to hopefully solve that bit by bit. Okay, next thing I need to talk about is copper. We have a copper problem. I've had a copper problem for a very long time, and I need to solve it. I'm going to solve it by doing that to start with, plus that, and I want to do this, and I want to get rid of those trees, all of them trees. Cool. All right. What I want to do is I want to talk about copper. So if we go look at copper itself, and I right click on this, we can see what copper is used in. If we have a quick look, we can see copper is used in making electronics 1. It's also being used in PCBs, which is of course electronics 2. And of course, we use just a little bit of copper in making, well, microchip stage 1B, 2B, 3C, and of course a 4B, and that's all for microchips, which is for electronics number 3. So they're only used in electronics, is what the bottom line is. What is this, and why are you complaining? Oh, okay, because I marked it for deletion. Yeah, whatever. The trucks will work it out. So what I want to do is I want to move copper from here, which will give me more room to expand out steel, which is one of the plans. I'm going to need more steel eventually. I'm pretty sure I've allocated enough room for glass for quite some time. And, well, for poly, when I need more poly, because we're going to need more poly as our electronics needs to expand, I expand that out and probably end up moving the rocket silos. I have no idea where the rocket silos are going to get moved to at that point, but that sounds like a later JD problem, and I'm always a fan of kicking the, well, problems down the road and having later JD sort them out. So what I want to do is I want to make copper, and what I actually want to do is I want to make electronics 1, because, well, one piece of copper goes into one electronics 1. It's nice and simple. All I need to do is add a little bit of rubber. Now, you need 96 copper. You produce from, well, 48 copper ore crush, which is going to refer to it as copper ore. You produce 48 molten copper. 48 molten copper gets turned into 24 and 24 impure copper, which is a total of 48 impure copper. My 48 impure copper gets put into 2 copper electrolysis machines and gets turned into, with a little bit of acid, into, well, 48 pure copper. So that means for 2 smelters, one doing 48, the other one doing 48, that gives me a total of 96 copper, which I can turn directly into 96 electronics. So these 2 are producing, well, 1 electronics machine. This is producing a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and a half. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 running, which is a problem to start with. So I can just turn one of these guys off to start with. And I also need copper to head over to, well, obviously PCBs for electronics 2, and also microchips for electronics 3. So at the end of the day, what I want to do is I want to sort of simplify my life, and rather than trying to move copper around the place, I want to build a new smelting block and predominantly make electronics 1. And we're just going to do that on site. And therefore, rather than me having to move the copper and then add some rubber down the line to then make electronics 1, they're already going to come out as electronics 1. So that's going to be the grand plan. So what I want to do is I want to come over here and I want to work through just a little bit of maths and a little bit of thought on the process, and then we can go from there. Can I get upgradable smelters? I want to get the copper Mark 5, which is the full arc furnace ready to go. And if I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, that is 4 assemblers. 4 assemblers making electronics number 1. It also means that for 4 smelters, you needing 50, 100, 150, 200. Therefore, I need to have a single crusher. If I have 4 more, I need to have another crusher on top of that. If I then come back in here and I go with, so this is 2, 4, 6, 8 smelters total. If I go to 10, 12, 14, 16, that means if we look at the boxes at the front, I have 4 here and I have 4 here, which means I can support, can I copy you guys? Can I put you over here without the extra belts? Close that box and go there. So this lot can support 4 machines, and this lot can support 4 machines. Technically, I could even put another smelter on the end, which would produce another 100 copper, but my belts move 450. So technically, I could have a U support 4, U support 4, and then the one in the middle is, well, supporting the one in the middle, and I'm sending half of the resources this way and half the resources this way. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, one truck recovery, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 so far. But I'm going to need more copper. So if I have 18, and then on top of that, I add 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Okay, if I add 26, that gives me another, well, 4 more, which is another full belt, being 400 copper, that I can get out of this area. And also, if we look at one of these guys and I type in just some important stats. So we have 26 smelters and they produce 18 slag each. That is 468 slag. That's an awful lot of slag. That's like a whole belt's worth of slag, much like my X. Also means for every 8 of these guys, so 2, 4, 6, 8, I need to have 2 crushers. So then if I have another 2, 4, 6, 8, I need to have another 2 crushers over here somewhere. And, well, I have 26 of them. Let's just type in 26 multiplied by 50 ore each, which is 1,300, divided by 200, because each one of these does 200 for round figures. I need to have 6.5 crushers. But if we look at our statistics, and I look at copper to start with, copper, if we turn off our consumption, we just look at our production, I'm producing around about 525. And if I then go look at our copper scrap right there, and I turn off consumption, I can see I'm producing, well, this is probably a more accurate number, 200. So of about 500, I'm producing about 200 back. So therefore, if I'm going to be producing 1,300, I'm going to be, well, 1,300, and I'm doing 2 of 500 back, being around about 40% worth of recyclables. It means of the 1,300 multiplied by 0.4, I'd be doing about 520 scrap copper, or 0.6 is the amount I need, which is 780. 780 total resources in. Where'd I mess up? 1,300 ore divided by 200 is 6.5. Yeah, so that's correct. I just need to change this to multiplied by 0.6 is now I need like 3.9. So I'd need probably around about 4 crushers for new copper in, and the other ones would all be technically running on recyclable copper. So that's going to be my plan. And when I say that's going to be my plan, that's going to be the plan we're going to be going ahead with. And I want to make a couple of other modifications. So can I put these guys at the top? Can I put these guys at the bottom? Can I put them nice and close to one another? Can I also take this whole block? I paused the game because the game definitely has issues with large blueprints of many items being flipped around. And then can I put these guys here? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to have all the copper here. I want to do the electronics right in front. The electronics are going to need bless all room. We're going to need this, plus we're going to need this, plus 3 tiles behind each machine. So 3 tiles there, 3 tiles here. But also, I don't need any of these boxes, don't forget, so they all get to go away, and that means this can move a whole lot closer. So I have a decent amount of room back here to do things, right? I also have this giant gap in here. This giant gap in here, what I actually want to do is I want to take a copper train. I want to flip it so it unloads on the inside, please. Rip off all this junk, and then I want to take the length of the train and basically double it. Because if I double it, it means rather than me trying to unload 8 wagons in a hurry, I can now unload 16 wagons at a much slower speed because it's totally a whole lot more resources coming in. Also means I want to reroute the train so I don't have this problem anymore. And I realistically want to bring a train track down here somehow. How we're going to do that is a later jetty problem 100%. Bring it down here around the edge, have it pull into all these different stations that need to have ore dropped off also means I can put a waiting station somewhere in front, and then they can come back, join a main line, and then exit back this way. So it means all the trains are always going around a loop. I don't really have trains crossing one another's path to start with, but it just means that hopefully you're going to have things a whole lot more organized. So that's going to be our plan. But there's another thing I should mention or two. The other thing I need to mention is, just clear all that so it just looks less crap. Can I also remove you, and we put in 2 of those. We'd have to add more locos to the train no matter what, so we maintain the same speed, but that's all besides the point. Now, I am going to have a couple of problems, and my problems are going to stem from, here's a good spot to build. My problems are going to stem from a few things. First off, if I want to make copper, I need to have a few items. First off, recyclables wise, I'm going to need to have, well, I can tell you for a fact, I'm going to need at least 3 belts with the recyclables. It was multiplied by 0.4 roughly, 520. In theory, I can fit all of that on one belt, but in practice, it won't happen. If I look at these guys are currently producing our recyclables. I have 2 of these guys, which can each process 144 each, and then spit out, well, potentially, as we are doing recyclables at a rate of 35%, 35% of 144 multiplied by 0.35. In theory, they're spitting out 50 each every minute. And I'm taking those 2 belts on a 450 belt, and I'm basically combining them together to make a single belt. So these 2 become 1 belt, these 2 become another belt, and there's been many, many times where these belts have been chockers. Because not only do I need to have a belt capacity here, but I also need to make sure that when we get to each one of these exits, things can exit at full speed. They don't always exit at full speed. Sometimes there's too much other material in the way, so that causes a slight slowdown in the belts, which means I need to have more belt capacity. So when the belts slow down a little bit, they have a chance to run a little bit faster and dump the material a little bit faster when it speeds back up. So that's something I need to keep in mind, which means I'm going to need to have 3 belts for just recyclables. I don't need to bring in copper ore, because copper ore doesn't need to come from this side of the base to this side of the base. But what does need to come in is I'm going to need to bring in graphite. I'm going to need to bring in water. I'm going to need to be able to take out steam. I'm going to have to bring in acid. I need to take out exhaust. On top of that, I'm going to need to be able to take out 1 belt of electronics, 2 belts worth of electronics, or 1 belt of copper. Also, I need to take out... Oh, I also need to bring in sand to run a copper smelter as well. Low supply of copper ore. Can we just go look at that real quick? It is low, which means I need to come back to these boys and have them just take another corner off this mountain. And okay, check on you lot. You lot are doing a lot of scraping into the mountain again. Yeah, I want you guys to clear this so we have a path out before I give you more territory, and that just means you're running a little bit slower at the moment. You can take a tile off that, and we can go back to this project. Where are I? Yes, I also need to bring in sand. So, and of course I'm going to need to bring in rubber to actually make electronics. So I need to bring in, 3, plus 4, plus 3, plus 2. So I need to bring in 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2. I need to bring in 12 items that I can think of. Let me double check. It is acid, steam, water, exhaust, 3 lots of recyclables, plus I need to bring in graphite, sand, and plus my materials out, plus rubber. Oh, and also a belt of slag. I did say that we had 468 slag in total if everything's running at full speed. So it's 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3. So I have 13 items. 13 items that need to pass from, up here to down here. Which means if I go look at a large bridge supports 4 items, plus it supports another 4 items, that's 8 items, plus 3 over here, so that's 9, 10, 11, plus 3 over here, which is 12, 13, 14. 14 items, I have 13 currently. Which means if I've forgotten anything, I'm definitely out of space. I do admit slag could probably take a bypass, not go back through here, but make a direct beeline across. There's a chance rubber can also make a direct beeline across. I don't know yet, but this is going to be our plan. So what I want to do is I'm going to spend the time between episodes rounding in all the pipes and all the different bits and pieces, because that's going to be a mess. What I want to do for right now is try and route out the copper into electronics machines. I technically have one extra machine that needs to be fed from both sides. I do need to have a bucket. We're going to be putting a bucket probably here. Can I get a belt? So the plan is to have you come out across down. This is 100, 200, 300, 400. This is going to be a new belt coming down, which, no. Yep. Okay. And then, so that's 100, 200, 300, 400. I've just realized that half these belts are going to go the wrong way, so they'll have to get fixed, but it's fine. Then we're going to have this belt, which is going to be the next lot. Can I put that on? Because this is going to have to go another tile forward. Can I plug that into there, that into there, and that into there? So that's 100, 200, 300, 400, and I can't just dump this on its own onto this belt because it's already at 400. So this means this one gets a special belt all to itself, which it's going to have to come down to here. Technically, this belt is only going to be running one of these guys, which means I might just shortcut it and just run it straight into there, because technically you're probably going to be the first one booted. No, I can't do that. I really can't do that. It really needs to run into the box properly. Come on, the belt doesn't exist anymore. Stop it. Can I plug that into there? All right. So then what I need to do is I need to bring my first belt of copper out. It's going to have to come to here somewhere. This can all get moved over. It's going to need a 2-tile gap, and actually it's going to need a 3-tile gap for the first one. Or I could... Okay, can I do a 2-tile gap? Can I move you to this side? Okay, so can I run this into here, into... Technically I'm going to have a Mark II belt, into here, and into here. Okay, can I have this come into here? Then can I have a Mark III belt come into here, a Mark III belt go into there, a Mark II belt go into here and into here, and then I need to get this out. Okay, so I want to have a connector, a connector, a connector, a connector, a connector, and a connector. And then I'm going to need to have a lift here. I have to raise this up a little bit so I can get out of here properly. This is going to have to be a 450, well, 450 belt, 450 belt, lots of 450 belts. Technically at this point I could drop down to 200, but I'm not going to. And this one, funnily enough, I should be able to plug into that one and into that one. And that should give me 400 plus the extra 50 from this, splitting onto both belts. Okay, I'm also going to need a flat lift on each one of these. You're going to need to be an in belt, an in lift, which will go here, 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 and here, and here, 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 and here. You guys need 25 rubber each, so that's 100, that's 200, that's 225. So I'm going to need a Mark III belt to come in with rubber. Can I put you here and then into here? We can technically go down to a Mark II, have this just go through each one of these and all the way around the back to the other set, and that should do us. So that's going to be the rough plan. Now, for the moment, I cannot move this copper drop-off station to, well, over here permanently until I work out if I can get a train track through here. I don't think I can get a train track through here with the reactors in the way and with everything else I have going on, and also the fact that I still need to put in another waste needer because I don't have that much free population, and we're going to have to expand the town to get this up and running because this is going to need 14 workers. So we have 14 plus we're going to have 2, 4, so it's 10, 12. I'm going to need 14 plus 12, so I need 26 workers multiplied by 26 smelters. Total 676 plus a handful for a station plus a handful for a couple of crushes. I'm going to need like 700 people if I'm going to turn all this on at once. I doubt we're going to build it. Well, I doubt we're going to turn it all on at once. I have a feeling I might build all of it at once. This is why I want to go do it between episodes. That way I get to run the pipes, I get to run the belts. It's just a matter of, well, putting in a bridge and then trying to get everything from A to B without it looking too ghastly. Also get the ore from, well, where it currently is across to here and somehow mining it faster, guys. What the hell are you guys doing? Not mining copper, that's for sure. Iron, stone, copper. Where are all your trucks? Some train got stuck. Okay. Who got stuck? You have 4 trains waiting, except there's 5 here. You have arrivals. No, you have arrivals 2. Okay, so I have 1 train too many. I have this train, which is a copper train. Because you've gone to copper way and you haven't gone here because all modules are not full. Okay, I'm gonna set you unrestricted. So that'll pull the train forward. Okay, this guy out of the way, that means trucks can get across tracks, which will be awesome. One of the problems with marking these as trains are allowed to stop there. It does mean that occasionally they can block up the tracks entirely, but it's a risk that I'm happy to pay to have more throughput overall. Can I also fix that little bit there because I put down the wrong type of stone? And yes, so I wanted to go fix this between episodes, plug in everything, get all the pipes and all the belts hooked in, and then possibly even have the trucks come along and start building it, because once we can solve this problem and have electronics 1, I can then have electronics 2. If I can have electronics 1 and electronics 2, I can then finally turn back on our household appliances. That means I can fix my Unity problem. Also means I can up the research, probably up the recycling as well. Also, it means we can look at consumer electronics, which are going to require aluminium, and also electronics, and I can also look at the space probes, and we can get into the final research being the asteroid boosters, whilst also continuing on with the infinite science. But all of that I have to wait for the next episode. I want to get this at least set up in, well, between this episode and the next. Also, we're about to run out of nuclear fuel, which means I get to deconstruct these, get the nuclear fuel out of them, and shove them into other reactors. Go away, bad tree. And that means in the next episode we have at least something that we can start making progress on. But what I need to do is I'm gonna leave this video here. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. At least you know what we're doing going forth. And that's because you guys were just parked there for far too long waiting for trucks. And I will see you guys in the very next episode where, yes, hopefully now we've got our power sorted, we're going to have copper sorted, we're going to have steel sorted, and that means hopefully we can continue on with expanding out the island and also with moving even more vehicles across to hydrogen and really getting into the late game. Yep, I still got a lot to do, but like I said, with all that said and done, as always, thank you for watching, hope you've enjoyed. See you in the very next video. All right, bye.